So let's think in more detail about London. We're all Londoners. You live in London. What resources have you already used today? And have you really thought about where they come from? Because they're not necessarily local. Though, of course, they did used to be. So these two images here, in the past, London's resources came from, say, the southeast of England. Okay, all the resources, all the food, all the people, all just came from maybe from an area of 100 miles in radius. It was a local city, but now it is a global city. Food, resources, population come from all over the world, but then we also put things back as well. Our waste, our workers, commuters, our wealth gets spread around the world as well. So be sure that you're aware that London, as an example of an urban area, is ever-changing, ever-evolving, turning into a more global city. Okay, so 81% of our food comes from outside of London. Actually, all our electricity comes from outside of London. 27% of our population, 20% of our water. Start to think about whereabouts. We already know that food gets flown over from overseas. The food in our supermarkets has not always been locally produced. We don't have any power stations in London. Where do we get our electricity from? Obviously, London is a melting pot of different ethnicities and different groups. 27% of the population come from somewhere else. So make sure you're aware of these key patterns. So little exercise here, inputs and outputs. What comes into London? What goes out of London? So an output, for instance, would be this: lost water through leakage of pipes. An input, on the other hand, might be the amount of food that comes in per person per year. 6.9 million tons per year of food. So you might want to pause this and have a little go at that. Different people see London's life support system from a different perspective. An economist would look at it in terms of jobs. An environmentalist would look at it in terms of, from the environmental point of view, in terms of the outputs and the damage that it does. What about you? In what way do you see London's life support system? What do you think are the key inputs and the key outputs? So basically, inputs, outputs, different types of perspectives on it. Make sure that you can speak confidently about those two key things.